So hello there, my name's Dane Lemaitre. Welcome to the ERTL collection update. And in this video you'll see that I've got some more ERTL characters in the Thomas range. And this will probably be the last one that I do for a while. The reason being is because I've actually got most of these models already. The only difference is the style of box that they come in. So I've got the Diesel, Trevor and Lorry 2 and Lorry 3 here. And they've all got animations on them. And they were all done by an artist called Bell. And he done a lot of illustrations for like a lot of the merchandise and magazines and annuals and all that sort of thing. And that's probably my favourite style of packaging. And also I've got the Biplane, which is actually called Tiger Moth, although they've put Biplane on it, and Thumper. And that was the last style of packaging that ERTL brought out before discontinuing the range. The last few characters, Murdoch, Arthur, Fergus, Jack, Alfie and Jock. Which I've been lucky to have, and Jock was actually the last character. But like I said, they were the last engines that were characters that were brought out into the range and the most detailed. I really like the ERTL range because I do think the detail on them is absolutely superb. Definitely a lot better, I think, than what they've got out now in the Thomas range. Particularly as well when you consider the way that Thomas is going as well. I don't really watch the show now anyway, but it's supposed to be going 2D animated. And, you know, I think it's all going to go downhill, but I mean, we'll wait and see. But that's my personal sort of opinion. But, you know, this was the sort of era that I remember growing up with. And I remember going around shops like Woolworths and, you know, Toys R Us and things like that when these were brand new on the shelf. And I particularly remember Lorry 2 and 3. When I saw them, I thought, well, where's Lorry 1? And I do actually have Lorry 1. And Lorry 1's painted like a green and brown sort of colour. To represent sort of like algae and seaweed and that, because he was the horrid lorry that reversed into the sea. I'll talk about the lorries later, but yeah, I do really like these, and I think these styles of packaging were the best because I like the animations on them, and obviously the description cards you get on the back, and obviously they've all got facts on them as well. Although some of the description cards are a bit unusual, as I've probably discussed in my other videos. You might remember me saying. But like I said, if you look under the ERTL collection playlist on my channel, you know, you'll see that I've mentioned these anyway. But first off, we'll start with the Diesel. And this is definitely one of my favourite models. And I really like his face. It reminds me of his face in the television series. So the Diesel was actually first introduced in the Railway series, although he looks a lot different now and his number was different. But so this is more based upon what he looked like in the TV series. Really well detailed. And I remember as well when I was younger, I went on a holiday abroad and there was actually an airport, and I remember this and Bulstrode and a few others being available in the shop as well. So that was quite nice. But yeah, I like this model. I've also got him in the Hornby range. But the only problem with the Hornby one is that they've actually made him using the Class 37 model. I do really actually like Class 37s, and I saw one the other month down at Find a Road Industrial Estate on a test train. And I've been going out and viewing a lot of test trains and things like that recently, and unusual engines on my local line because well, there's obviously no preserve railways open at the minute, so it's just nice to go and look at them. There's another one that I've seen a few times, a HST 43102 that's supposed to be retiring that I've seen a few times. So quite lucky, and that's supposed to be going to the National Rail Museum in York when it retires. Anyway, so this is the Diesel, also known as Class 40. So he was only in one episode of the television series. Well, one way he spoke, and then he made a cameo in a second episode before that, in the episode Rusty to the Rescue, where he can be seen in the background. So yeah, didn't really appear much, unfortunately, but he did make a number of appearances in the magazine stories as well. So he was never entirely forgotten that much, really. I would like to have seen more of him. Personally, not just magazine stories and that, but, you know, in the TV series as well. But yeah, I do think this is a really nice model of him. Again, nice description card on the back. And then next off, we've got Trevor the Traption engine. And again, Trevor first appeared in the Railway series as well. but he was a lot different colour in the Railway series to what he is here. There's also another model that ERTL brought out, the Scrap Trevor, which was based upon when he was saved from scrap. And again, Trevor now currently appears in the CGI animated series of the show. But then there was a little sort of while where he was sort of not absent, but he didn't speak, but he was sort of seen in the background of episodes as well. So he was never really entirely forgotten. You know, but it's nice when you know, he appears and speaks as well. And he was always, again, one that I quite liked. And you can see there he's got a Toy Master logo. I didn't actually buy it from Toy Master, but it came with the Toy Master sticker, and I remember going to a few Toy Master shops when I was younger. And there is still a few around, but not many sort of locally. But well, there's one in Rushden, a shop called Osborne's. And I think they were sort of like one of the founding members of Toy Master. But anyway, that's Trevor. Quite a nice model. But I think he's far too small, because like when you put him next to Thumper, you can see a massive comparison in size. Again, I do really like the ERTL range, but I think a lot of their models are sort of like out of scale and things like that. I think that was the only problem, but the detail on them was always superb. It was just the scale. And again, I've got Trevor in the Adventures range. It's actually now been discontinued. And Trevor looks a lot bigger than that, but again, his funnel could have been a lot taller. And I still think that this model of him that I've got here is far better than that. And again, the diesel that I was talking about earlier, I've actually got two of him in the box, and I found that last year while I was having a sort out. Because I was putting this one away because I just brought it, the one you can see here. And then I found out, so they were just having a sort out, that I got two for some reason. Well, obviously the other one, so I'm obviously making it two, and a model of the Duchess of Sutherland, which is an engine that I've been on a few times. Quite a coincidence, really. And again, I've got the diesel in another style of packaging, but I wasn't as keen on the blue style of packaging. I've got a number of characters in that style of packaging. And, you know, when I was younger, when I was buying these, because I've got these models out of the box as well as in the box, as you probably know. But when I was younger, I wasn't too sort of fussed about the box, but from a collector's point of view, I didn't think the blue style of packaging was as interesting as what I've got here. Because again, I really like these ones, because these ones, you know, you've got a proper description on the back about the characters and facts about the characters, although some of the description cards are a bit unusual. But yeah, so next off, we've got the biplane. The biplane's actually called Tiger Moth, and in his debut episode, Tiger Moth crashed into a haystack and was a bit of a show-off. And Tiger Moth doesn't really appear in the show now, but while the show was made using models, went on to appear in the background of a lot of episodes, mainly only when Dry Hot Airfield appeared, unfortunately, so not really many appearances. But Tiger Moth also appeared in the magazine stories, but in the magazine stories actually had a face. So this model, as you can see, doesn't even have a face. So in the television series, never had a face. And again, this isn't the only one that I've got. I've got him in the older style of box, so the same as the ones that I've just shown you. And that is quite massive, that box, when you compare it to the other characters. However, when you put these two side by side, it's not quite as big. But it's not quite as big as Cranky the Crane. The box that he came in is massive, again, when you compare him to other characters. You know, but obviously things were different back then, but obviously, you know, sort of nowadays, if that was available in shops, a lot of people were saying, obviously, that's a lot of packaging, which is true. And obviously, people are now trying to do their bit for the environment. So again, nice description card on the back about the biplane. And like I said, they've just called it Biplane, even though the character's name was Tiger Moth. I don't really understand why, really. But there you go. So next off, we've got Lorry 2 and Lorry 3. And again, I have both of them lorries, but they're in the blue style of box. So I got these ones because I thought that the packaging looked a bit more interesting. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I've got Lorry 1 as well. And I like the animations, and I particularly like Lorry 3's face, because it looks like his face, again, in the television series. And the same with the animation on Lorry 2. And Lorry 2 ended up falling off the side of a cliff and getting smashed. And Lorry 3 broke down as well on the level crossing when he was overloaded with too much flour. And as I said earlier, Lorry 1 reversed into the sea. And so in the television series, the lorries were scrapped after that. However, again, if you watch a lot of the episodes after they were introduced, they actually appear but without faces, like in the background of episodes. And again, if you watch some episodes, you can see that they have their registration plates visible. So like in this one here, you can see Lorry 1's registration plate. In the episode Emily's Adventure, though he appears without a face. Like I said, they appeared a lot of times without faces in the television series after they were scrapped. However, in the magazine stories, they appear to have been fixed and still appear. And so like I said, they were in the magazine stories quite a lot as well. So they were never, again, they weren't entirely forgotten. And last off, I've got Thumper. And Thumper, to my knowledge, was a rock crusher. And again, as I said earlier, I think the detail on this model of Thumper is absolutely superb. But he is very, very big. And when you actually put him next to the engines, he's at his face. He's basically a lot taller than what the engines and that are. So again, I think he's a bit oversized. Another thing with this model as well is he's got grey Caterpillar tracks, and Thumper's Caterpillar tracks are actually a really dark grey sort of colour, not this white sort of pale colour. Again, I've got Thumper in the other style of packaging, the blue style of packaging, but I thought this one was quite unique, a bit more rare, so I decided to get it. And he's got like these sidewall pistons that, in the television series, they moved round as he blasted the rock. And he was also responsible for the boulder falling down and causing destruction. And I really liked the episode Rusty and the Boulder when I was younger. And again, I like this model of Thumper, and I like his face. Again, his face looks just like it did in the television series. Unfortunately, Thumper never spoke. But he did, and unfortunately as well, he never ever appeared in the background again either. So he was never, he was only in one episode, so he was never in any of the magazine stories or anything. He only appeared once. But yeah, so that's Thumper. And again, that's all my collection for the time being. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.